Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
And we will begin here at 5 with the election and the sweeping win for Michigan Democrats, leading to a major change that hasn't been seen in decades. Good to have you with us for Local 4 News at 5. Let's quickly get you caught up on the big races.
Yeah, Gretchen Whitmer gets a second term as governor with 54% of the vote.
And the race for Secretary of State, the incumbent Jocelyn Benson beating Christina Caramo, 56% of the vote. That's a 14-point win.
And the race for Attorney General, Democrat Dana Nessel getting a second term, beating challenger Matt DePerno.
And for 3, which protects a woman's right to an abortion, passed by a pretty wide margin. The other two, the other big story last night, the turnout. Here's what the Secretary of State had to say about that.
Yesterday's election results are about to break the record set in 2018 for turnout in a midterm election.
And one of the biggest results from the election is the shift in power in Lansing.
First time in 40 years, Democrats have control in Michigan of both the House and the Senate. Christy McDonald with more on the history of that and the impact.
Yeah, it's pretty big news. The final numbers are being processed, but this sets up a Democratic agenda in January with a lot of new priorities. Things are changing in Lansing. For the first time since 1984, there will be a Democratic majority in the State House and Senate.
Everything's on the table, right? I mean, because Democrats have all the levers.
Dave Dulio is a professor of political science at Oakland University and studies Michigan's state government and policies.
It is something we haven't seen in Michigan in 40 years.
Republicans have enjoyed the majority in the legislature since 2011. Now Democrats can set the agenda and decide what bills make it to the floor through committees.
I think the governor has tried to do some things in the education budget during her time in office that you'll probably see those continue and maybe even accelerate. I think she'll want to do something on manufacturing with chips. She's promised a tax cut for the pension tax. That I would imagine is pretty high on the list.
So how did the shift happen? The Independent Michigan Redistricting Commission redrew the maps after 2018, opening up new areas of the state that made districts more competitive. Pair that with blue wave momentum from the top of the ticket. Dulio cautions Democrats to take the slim majority and close races into account. Parties who don't usually find trouble later.
We often see them go too far. We often see them overstep, and then they pay a price down the road. And maybe it's worth it for Democrats, right? Where they say, we're really going to step on the accelerator. We've not had this opportunity in 40 years. We're going for it.
And that is what we will be watching. Here are the latest projections. So Democrats 56 to Republicans 54 seats in the House and in the Senate. Democrats expected to take 20 to 18.
It's funny, Christy, we talk so much about the money that was being spent at the top of the ticket and in the congressional races. We didn't talk as much or hear as much about the money being spent down ticket on state races.
Yeah, it was really interesting because when you look at some of the reports that came out, Michigan was one of the top states in the country spending about $30 million on those state seats.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's all about the money.
Well, the money was everywhere, it's for sure in our state. All right, Christy.
Well, as the results rolled in last night, something quietly happened, and it's not sitting well with many Detroiters. For the first time in 70 years, Detroit won't have a black person representing the city in Congress. Jacqueline Francis joins us live tonight with what local leaders are saying about it, what the winner, Sri Tanadar, plans to do to address it. Jacqueline.
Yeah, I'm in the heart of Sri Tanadar's district, where approximately 45% of the population is African American, the same district that will no longer have black representation in Congress.
I will be their congressman.
Fresh off a victory, Democratic State Representative Sri Tanadar is headed to D.C., where he'll represent most of Detroit in the U.S. House of Representatives. His win means the city won't have black representation in Congress for the first time in nearly 70 years. Tanadar telling us he's prepared to represent all his constituents.
I'm already starting to build relationships, getting to know people, and building coalitions with the black community in D.C.
Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence is currently the only black lawmaker representing Michigan in D.C. She announced her retirement earlier this year. She says losing this representation is disappointing, but not devastating.
The color of a person's skin does not prohibit them from representing the people. it would be hypocritical for me to say that because I've represented a large Jewish population, a large white population, Hispanic population. And so but it takes effort.
Detroit's NAACP president agrees.
Diversity is a good thing, and having us at the table to talk about us at the national level is very, very important. The George Floyd Justice and Policing Act still needs to be passed. I mean, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act needs to be passed.
Even with Representative Lawrence retiring, Michigan will still have one African-American lawmaker in D.C., John James, winning Michigan's 10th district race last night. That's in Monroe County by fewer than 2,000 votes. It's also worth noting that Sri Thanedar is set to become the first Indian American to represent Michigan in Congress. Reporting live in Detroit, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
Yes, okay, Jacqueline, we appreciate it. And we've got results from every single local race, so check out what happened in your community. You can find the link right on our homepage of clickondetroit.com.
40 days ago, Mayor Duggan announced a deal that would give Detroit police officers badly needed raises, but that deal needed final approval from City Council. After a string of delays, it finally came. Sean Lay, live at Detroit Police Headquarters, and the departments in other cities, Sean, we've been reporting, have been actively recruiting in the city of Detroit.
We just walked out of a news conference here at the Detroit Public Safety Headquarters, Devin, where the mayor said he is now, and the city is going to go to other Midwestern cities to recruit their officers to come here because of more competitive pay for officers. We're talking about pay raises across the board. Why are we talking about this? Because the officers on the streets are saying higher pay means better public safety, more public safety for you.
All right, hearing none, that resolution will be approved.
Detroit City Council ratifying a new contract between Detroit Police and the city. It means long-awaited pay raises for new Detroit police officers and veterans of the force. The goal, to keep officers, taxpayers pay to train. Cities like Indianapolis coming in, recruiting Detroit officers with the lure of much higher pay. Moments ago, Detroit Police Chief James White, Mayor Mike Duggan, and the president of a police union, the Lieutenants and Sergeants Association, Lieutenant Mark Young, reacting to today's approval of that higher pay for police.
This will allow us to deploy more to the field, more to the streets, more to the neighborhoods, address our traffic problem. We have a number of people that are simply driving too fast, so we want to get the officers in the neighborhoods.
To bring the starting officers' pay from 43 to 53, to bring the four-year officers' pay from 63,000 to 73,000, we are now competitive not just with the surrounding suburbs, but with many of the Midwestern cities.
The men and women of the Detroit Police Department face increasing violence every day, and they do it. And this agreement gives them some appreciation, some respect, and it shows value.
Back here live, that Police Lieutenant Mark Young you just heard from, he had to go to council several times to urge them to vote for these pay raises, but council today unanimously voted for them. And again, the mayor says now with more competitive starting salary and veteran salary, the city will go to other Midwestern cities to recruit their officers, a switch that we saw last week when Indianapolis came here to try to hire Detroit police officers. Back to you.
All right, Sean. There will be an increased police presence at a Monroe County high school for the rest of the week after a threat this morning.
Threatening message was written on the wall of a girl's bathroom at Dundee High School. It prompted a lockdown. K-9 officers did a sweep of the building and found no weapon. The school is asking students to leave their backpacks at home for the rest of the week because staff will be screening students as they enter the building.